Okay, this is my mobile game development assignment number one. I am Quincy Orta, and I am going to show you what I've done for this assignment. So, um, off the bat, I have four different scenes that you can see here: main menu, instructions, games, and boss screen. Each scene transitions to one to another. This might be loud, so let's turn it down. All right. So I have clouds just for the main menu scene and some UI that's you can click on. Um, so I have a object pooling of clouds where I can control like how often clouds spawn. Not really special. You can click on this button to go into the instructions on how to win controls. So you're going to either tap on the very left or the very right of the screen and tap on the center to shoot. And then you want to shoot the following enemies to earn points and collect coins for extra points, and obviously avoid the enemies. So when we press play, we'll jump straight into the game. Now I'm using WASD to move, but when it builds on the emulator, it will obviously be touch. So as you can see, my high score is actually -5. So you lose points if you don't collect the coins. We killed no enemies and we didn't collect any coins. So if we click this button, we can play it again. Right? So as you can see, the enemies actually track us and follow us. We have some effects for when we destroy the enemies. Now, just like pause the game and turn up the volume. So as you can hear, there are sound effects for when we kill enemies. Oh, this might be very loud for you. Yeah, it should be a little bit better. So as you can see, like there's sounds for when we die, there's sounds for when we get hits, when we destroy the enemies and pick up the coins. So from the loot lost screen, we can replay as I was doing here, or we can go back to the menu. And that's the very simple gameplay. Let's look at some code. So this is just a factory to make the clouds. I have a game manager that tracks the high score, the enemies killed, for example. And this kind of initializes the other managers. So this creates a sound manager that allows us to play the sounds. This is just animation for the explosion. Event manager is not being implemented. The enemy spawner has two pools of objects: inactive and active enemies. So when we start the game, we will iterate through we will just run a for loop for the amount of enemies we want to spawn. We spawn them, and then we add it to our inactive pools. And then we have a function that drops the enemies, which kind of like releases it to like be active. We have a function that returns it back to the pool. And then we have a simple timer that allows us to like spawn a new enemy, essentially. Coin, very simple. We just have one coin that follows a sine wave function. So it just like bobbles back and forth. So it's a little hard to pick up. And then when it resets, the amplitude and the frequency and the move speed all get like a random value. So it looks a little bit different. And then we release it back, like we reset it and then we set it to active, we release it back to be play. Bullets are just the fists that your players can like hit. Bar slider, so I'll show you when I run the player. The bar slider is just your health slider, so it allows you to actually see the health. And then the player controller is the player controller. So it tells you where to move. So we have bounds. I made some boundaries, a little bit different than what you showed us, and that will allow us to like not fall off the map or like move past the boundary of the screen. Enemy behavior, a little bit simple. Like I have a function that finds like the direction to the player. And then as the enemy approaches the player, the like sort of nudge towards the player gets lessened and lessened. So it doesn't like immediately always track to you. It kind of tapers off as it gets closer to you. Yeah, and Sound Manager just plays the sounds on specific events. So like I think it would happen. It's definitely the coins. Right? So when we hit the player with the coin, we want to play the sound, which has the key name coin. Very simple to understand. Let's look at some gameplay. So, as you can see, we can run the game. And as we can see, we still have the clouds. Menu screen works, touch screen works. Play. So now if I click on the right, I move to the right. And you can see that's my bar slider, right? Move to the left, they track you. And then in the center, there's a button that allows you to shoot. And as you can see, you actually gain a little bit of health every time you kill an enemy as well. So it just allows you to make the game last a little bit. And that is it. Thank you for watching.